AITA. For kicking my husband's sister out for leaving a fake pregnancy test in my bedroom? My 33 husband Adam, 36, came back from his month-long trip days ago. My in-laws live states away and my Sil, 20, was staying with me since she got kicked out of her dorm. Adam and I got back from the airport at 7 p.m. and my family came to visit. Adam went inside the bedroom and started unpacking while I was in the kitchen with my mother. I suddenly heard Adam shouting my name. He told me to come upstairs ASAP. He sounded very angry. I went to meet him in the bedroom and I saw him holding a positive pregnancy test in his hand. I was dumbfounded. He began questioning me, saying he found it inside my sock drawer. He asked, "You gone, explain to me WTF this was doing there?" I was speechless from my shock as I understood what this might have looked like to him. I said I had no idea. It wasn't mine and I never seen it before. He kept telling me to explain how it got there if I never seen it and it wasn't mine. My family heard the commotion and tried to intervene, but Adam locked the door. I freaked out because I literally had no idea what was going on. Adam said he just wanted me to be honest. I said he had the right to be mad, but I knew nothing about it and had no explanation. He said mad doesn't even begin to cover it, then suddenly started putting everything back in his bags, saying he was going to stay with a friend till I call him up with an explanation. He unlocked the door and found my family waiting. His sister showed up asking what was going on, then started laughing, asking, "So was it really positive or not?" I was stunned as she proceeded to say she planted the pregnancy test in the drawer as a prank and that everyone should calm down. She was like, "Bruh, chill, have you ever heard of fake pregnancy tests? They're pretty telling." I was livid. I screamed at her, asking how she thought this was funny and that it was okay to humiliate me in front of my family. She tried to justify it, saying it was her boyfriend's, who has a SPD by the way, idea to bring laughter to the atmosphere, but I told her she was no longer welcome at my home. After what she did, Adam took a seat to calm down, watching us argue as my mom got involved, asking me take it easy. I insisted that my sister-in-law pack and leave right then, and she started crying and apologizing, saying she had nowhere to go, begging Adam to do something, but he didn't. I called her an Uber and had her leave. Mill heard and started calling me, shaming me for kicking her daughter out like that. I told her what her daughter did and she still said my reaction was over the top, as her daughter is being naive and as a kid acting recklessly. She said we're her family and I should consider taking her back, but I said I won't. Edit. I too was confused by Adam's reaction and have a feeling he was in on the prank too, based on how serious he was being. Mom thought the same thing and I wouldn't be surprised since A, he remained quiet when I argued with his sister, and B, he always does pranks with her and sees nothing wrong with her behavior. He actually thinks she's funny. I don't know if I'll ever be sure about him taking part in her prank. Edit. Adam and I struggle with infertility on his side because of his health issues, so that added to my anger, since it seemed like his sister was being cruel and insensitive. NTA. Also kicked out of her dorm room, pretty much leads me to believe Sil isn't house-trained at all. NTA. Whoever would even think for a second that was funny? To be honest, I'm more concerned with your hubby's reaction. Info? What am I missing here? NTA. Saw the edit. I really hope, optimistically, that your husband was not in on the prank. Otherwise, it just adds another layer of cruelty along with your SIL's actions. I'm sorry you're going through difficulties. NTA. Some things are beyond pranks. Leaving a fake pregnancy test in someone else's space would be one of those things. Your SIL's behavior may be one reason she was kicked out of the dorm. She very nearly fucked up your marriage. Your husband needs to apologize to you. And you were right to kick her out. NTA. NTA, you said she was kicked out of her dorm. So I know this woman as an adult. That means she is old enough to know better. The fact that your mill called her a naive kid is very telling. Maybe she should move back in with her and find an education closer to home since she's too much of a naive kid. Is that also the reason she got kicked out of her dorm? She doesn't sound mature enough to live away from home. This is not a funny joke at all, especially considering your husband's reaction. NTA, I think your reaction was justified. She's a grown-ass woman. There's no reason to be playing games like that to the people that are offering a roof over her head. Could probably guess why she got kicked out of her dorm. Ha. Reminds me when my sister loosened the top of a pepper shaker and wait. What the fuck? Taking a marriage to the verge of divorce counts as a prank? She has to have mental issues, right? Like, how on earth did she think that was gonna go down other than the worst emotions turned up to 11? NTA. NTA. People these days think it's cool to do stupid YouTube or TikTok-inspired pranks for shits and giggles. It's not funny and it's not cute. She could have destroyed your marriage. NTA. What a crappy joke to play. She obviously needs some tough lessons and didn't learn anything being kicked out of the dorms. Presumably because of her own actions? I am concerned, though, about your husband's reaction. NTA. But I think your husband is an as well. Did he get a vasectomy? Have you not had sex in the last 5 months? Why would a pregnancy test cause that kind of reaction? Does he lock you in rooms and scream at you when he's angry? He sounds a bit unstable. Your MIL's reaction explains your SIL's behavior. It sounds like she is used to being a selfish brat and facing no consequences. You provided her with a place to live and she responds by humiliating you. And her mother is angry at you? NTA. NTA. Her actions could have resulted in the end of your marriage. Though it certainly sounds like she damaged it. This sort of thing is never funny. I don't know what part of her thought it would be. What she did was hurtful and cruel to both you and her brother. There is no excuse for her actions. Joke's on her. Now. NTA. It's not funny and she knows it. She's not a little kid. She knows perfectly well she was laying the ground for a fight by planting serious signs of cheating. Oh no. She had a negative experience because she did something wrong? That's called a consequence. You were already doing her a favor by letting her stay there. And she decided to screw with your relationship and cause emotional distress for kicks. So she doesn't get to live there anymore. That's a perfectly reasonable response. And a pretty predictable consequence to that type of behavior. Her BF may have ASD. But she doesn't. She knew what she was doing. And she went with it. Info. I'm distinctly uncomfortable with your husband's reaction. It's hard for me to focus on what your SIL did after reading how he treated you aggressively enough. That your family came to intervene only for him to lock the door so they couldn't. That matters far more in terms of bad behavior than what your SIL did. Though yes, that was asshole behavior. Could you seriously take a moment to consider whether you are okay in that house and in that relationship? Because I'd be really concerned for anyone I knew who told me this story. Info. Why did your husband react so aggressively? Has he had a vasectomy? NTA. And her saying it was her boyfriend's idea was probably just her defending herself. What she did is not a prank, it is just mean, and she does not seem to understand herself that she cannot do that. She needed the reality check. NTA when people do really shitty things and try to tell you that it wasn't that serious. The way to force them to acknowledge that you do take it seriously, and they have to take your reaction seriously, is by making them face consequences for their actions and not backing down. That way, even if they never admit to themselves the seriousness of what they did, they have to at least take into account that they don't get to treat you like that without paying a steep price. If their behavior doesn't improve after that, then they are worth keeping at a distance long term. No, you or NTAI would be pissed and angry too. First off, why was she kicked out of her dorm room? You said your husband was gone for a month, and when he just came back he finds a positive pregnancy test that immediately screams that you were possibly cheating on him and got pregnant if she didn't admit that it was a prank. You could have been accused of being a cheater and having an affair, and your marriage practically broken. You let her into your home and she does this. You have every right to tell her to leave. This wasn't a harmless prank. Don't listen to your mill. Don't let her back in. Who knows if she will do this again? She didn't even feel sorry about what she had done and try to justify her actions. It wasn't until you told her to leave that she started crying just because you were kicking her out. NTA. NTA between your husband and your sil and your mill, they seem like a pretty toxic family.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.